Good morning, everybody.
Hey guys.
Steve and I are going house hunting. I don't know why, because I already own a house and Steve already owns a house.
Yep.
So I'm really confused on why we're house hunting.
And you asked me to do some research.
Yeah.
So I did.
Okay.
Greenhouses, you really don't, that's not the color you want for your house.
What?
You want to have a house that's more neutral colored, to some grays, maybe a little bit of white in there. But they did say the pop of a door, your front door.
Yeah, you should have an accent color. Maybe
Exactly.
the shutters or the door.
Yeah. But a greenhouse, no, it's not really exactly what you want to do.
I'm thinking that you and I might, when we got that email.
Yep.
From our boss.
Yes, to do something on a greenhouse?
Yeah, that I think we might have misinterpreted that.
It did sound kind of strange.
Yeah, I mean, we already own a house. Why do we need to go find a house for the zoo?
And why did they ask us about doing it on a greenhouse?
Yeah, I like green, but I'm not going to paint my house green. No
think
offense
so
to anybody
either.
that might have a greenhouse. It's just not my color.
I don't think so. You think we might have got it wrong?
Well, I mean, but I mean, how does a greenhouse have anything to do with the zoo, Steve?
Oh, plants.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
We're so dense.
How are we going to get this fixed?
Okay, I'm gonna put all my pamphlets away.
Okay.
Let's go to the building. You make some phone calls.
Yes.
We'll pretend like we're smart and that
Yep.
we knew this from all
I
along.
bet we can call Denise.
Yes.
And maybe she can have Katie help us.
Oh gosh, let's cross our
That's
fingers.
fine. Bye guys, I gotta go. Hurry.
You guys don't tell him. Don't say a word.
No.
We'll be back soon.
Yes.
Okay.
You good?
Bye, everybody.
Wendy, are you kidding me? Look at all this. Do you see that? Look at this. Come down here. Look at this. Look at this.
I know.
This is such a neat place.
There's little pretties everywhere.
We get to go behind the scenes. Behind. Yeah, this isn't a third one. So behind the scenes. Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry. Everybody, my bad. I'm so excited about seeing this. Everybody, meet Katie. Katie, who are you?
Well, Steve, I'm Katie Davis. I'm the new nursery manager here at the North
The
Carolina
nursery
Zoo.
manager. Oh, where's the babies?
Where's the baby?
Different type of babies. Plant
Oh.
These are all her babies.
These are all your babies, Katie.
That's a lot of babies.
So your plant nursery is what you're saying.
Yes.
The plant nursery kind of thing. Very cool. So the nursery manager, huh?
Yes, sir.
That's neat. What did I say about the sir thing?
Sorry. I'll have it.
I haven't earned sir. One of these days I'll earn sir. No, not a problem. We're going to have fun today. So yeah, everybody say hi to Katie. I promise you right now, people are waving to you.
Yeah, our digital guests are saying.
They're saying because they're loving
Hi,
meeting.
everyone.
They're loving meeting somebody that's new that they haven't met before. And Katie's going to have some really awesome information to share with us. But my first question, Katie, we're at the North Carolina Zoo. Why does a zoo need a greenhouse?
Well, Steve, we need a greenhouse to reflect all of our different plant collections that we have. We have plants from all over the world here.
Really?
So right now we're in the tropical greenhouse.
Right.
So this greenhouse is home for our warm tropical plants that live in the aviary
No
and the
kidding.
desert. Oh, sorry, messed up desert. But so these plants.
So the tropics aren't in the desert.
That's
right?
correct.
Kind of makes we're there. That's not a worry. They're forgiving.
But these plants, they need different environmental conditions than the North Carolina habitat.
Oh,
So
okay.
we protect them in here to give them the moisture and the heat that they need.
Neat.
Because these won't survive the winter outside here in North Carolina.
Gotcha. And you mentioned the desert. I guess that makes perfect sense. So we're in the tropics now.
Yes.
And you said we get to go to the desert a
That's
little bit later.
right.
That's so exciting.
So it's warm in here and it's humid because
Yeah, it
that's
is.
what these plants thrive on.
I see. Okay, cool. Very good. How does this work? I've heard greenhouses before, but since we're in one, can you kind of tell us how greenhouses work to help the plants?
Well, so our greenhouses here have a program to regulate the temperature.
Oh, really?
So if it gets too hot, the fans will kick on and start circulating the air.
Oh,
and you
goody.
can see the cool pads over here will actually fill with cold water to cool down the temperature.
Those pads?
Yeah. So
Really?
the
Did you know
water pumps through them and that cools off the greenhouse when it gets too hot.
Wow.
I had absolutely no idea.
No, I didn't either.
And so when it gets
That's
in the opposite too
fascinating.
cold, we don't run the cool pads and the thermometer kicks on and turns on the heat. So
No
we have
kidding.
heaters in here hanging up, and then we still always have the fans running to
Yeah, I
get good
see
air
the fans, yep.
circulation. That helps keep the pests at bay, keeps the plants
Oh,
happy.
sure. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's open because I guess everybody needs some sunlight.
Exactly. So
Wow, okay,
if
cool.
it gets too sunny, we might close the shade to give the plants a bit more shade. Or
Okay.
in the winter, we keep it fully open to let the plants get more sun.
So they can get too sunny.
They can, especially with these tropical plants. You got to remember they're used to being in dense forests.
Oh, sure. We
So
want
some
the
want
canopy
sun
is kind of keeping
and some want shade.
neat.
So every greenhouse is designed for a specific part of our plant collection to cater to those plants' needs.
You said every greenhouse? We have more than just the 2?
That's right. We have 8 greenhouses here total,
Really?
and we have 2 unheated greenhouses for our North Carolina native plants.
Fascinating. That makes
Mm-hmm.
total sense. Are we going to be able to see some of those today?
Of course we
And
can.
our digital guests can come with us?
Oh, of course.
That's awesome. That's so exciting. I love it. All right, well, Wendy, I tell you what,
I'm very easily distracted.
we have a job to do.
I know, I'm showing them all the pretty plants.
Well, we got to do it. We have an expert with us.
I know, I was listening. Does
Katie
that
expert.
count?
Where are you?
I was listening. Headphones.
Oh, yeah, you don't have a choice. When I'm talking,
No.
Wendy wears earphones and she has to hear my
hear
words.
in my sleep sometimes, Steve. We work too much
I'm sorry, what did
together.
you, what, really?
And
Is
when
that
I
bad?
say sleep, I mean nightmares.
What are you laughing at? Jeez.
She has a bat mask on. Her and I
Does she?
are already.
Oh, look at that.
We're already
It's spooky
sisters.
season.
It is spooky season, that is for sure. That is great. Remember, guys, this episode is taped because we're going in so many different locations that Katie has mentioned. So we're going to be taping this episode, but ask those questions during this wonderful, plantastic zoo adventure. You have Wendy behind the camera,
Hi.
Steve's in front, and we have our expert, Katie, with us as well. All right, Katie, let's take a little tour of the tropics.
Yeah.
So a lot of these plants, you said, well, you tell me, because I don't want to say,
So,
where are these plants used in the park?
Most of the plants in this tropical greenhouse are mostly for the aviary, and a few go into exterior in Africa.
Who's been to the aviary before? Digital guest. Who's been there?
I have.
Wendy has her hand up.
This is one of my. These are some of my favorite plants in the aviary because their leaves are so pretty. These
Those are
guys
neat.
and these guys. I'm in
Those
love
lovely
with
colors.
different colored leaves.
Not just the green, just the kind of the
yeah, they're
variations.
like, but the patterns they make for such gorgeous backgrounds.
That's cool. So in the aviary, in the African habitats, in the outside where people are, where our guests are walking,
Yes.
they can see these plants.
Yes, in the warm seasons. In the winter seasons, these plants need to be protected from
Right.
the cold.
So what do?
Well, we bring them inside, and we have a greenhouse just for those plants.
What?
We do.
So it's kind of like when people live in like Colorado in the summer and then winter in Florida.
They're snowbirds.
They're snowbirds.
You have snowbird plants.
Exactly.
I love it. So what is, because we're still open, the thing's still going on, is this where the plants grow?
This is where we start propagating them. This is where we might take a plant that was sick and nurse it back to health.
Oh,
We will propagate and make
Plant
more
hospital.
new plants too.
so propagate, breeding or raising up or
Growing
making
new plants,
Growing
yes.
new. I love that phrase. Growing new
So
plants.
some of them we might grow by cuttings or take a seed and germinate it.
Really? Some of
Sometimes
these
we
come
might
from
divide it. And some of these plants
Wonderful.
are very old. Like our orchid collection here, we've had for over 20 years. Some of these plants
Really?
the zoo has kept for a long time, and we even keep records of when they bloom. That one's empty, but
No, but that's the idea.
yeah, we keep records of when they bloomed and where they've come
Wow.
from. Because these are just really special collections that we've had for a long time.
Over 20 years. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And will these plants that Wendy's looking at right now, can they go back out?
These will go into the aviary.
No kidding.
Sometimes you will find them in Africa when it's warm. But for the most
Oh,
part, we
okay.
keep these plants in the aviary contained. They have to have a special soil media because of the birds in the aviary. There's some types of soils
Oh,
you can't use
really?
for the birds.
So you guys have to be aware of that too.
We do,
So
yeah.
you have to work with the animal folks.
Yes, we do, because there's some plants that are toxic to the birds that we can't put in the aviary.
Wow, of course.
Or yeah, there's certain, fertilizers we can't use for those plants.
No kidding.
So keeping them in a separate greenhouse helps reduce, cross-contamination or things getting, confused.
Wow, that's neat.
Yeah, it's a busy job.
Absolutely. I can't even imagine. And all these have to be tended to. And they've all got, I'm sure,
That's right.
Each table or each section has its own requirements. You can't just come in and just water everybody and leave.
That's right.
That's what I do at home. So that's so neat. So all of these have their own requirements. Wendy, did you have any idea that there was that much going in just in the aviary plants?
No, and it probably is why all my plants at home don't look as healthy as these, because I have zero knowledge about plants.
Digital guests, do me a favor. Can you guys give a shout out to the Horticulture right now?
Yes.
The Hort Department here at the North
Lots
Carolina
of
Zoo.
hearts. Give us lots
Give
of
us some of
hearts.
those hearts, guys, because it's amazing what they're doing here. Because a lot of times, what they do is, I'm going to say it's behind the scenes. Just because you think zoo, you come to see the elephants, you want to see the giraffe, the red river hog, the alligator, the cougar. But the plants are setting the scene for that presentation, for that habitat. If you take those plants away, then you have a building. You've got dirt. You've got mud.
Boring and ugly.
Right?
Yeah.
So as they can set the stage, as they kind of transport you to place, the job you guys do, Katie, is so important to the overall feeling of the zoo.
Well, thank you so much. It is a full-time job. The horticulture department is actually 24 staff.
Wow.
4 supervisors and 2 curators. And we are actually divided into interior horticulture, which is what I do. I'm growing the plants for the inside of the buildings and take care of the plants in the inside of the buildings, like the desert and streamside and aviary and our kaleidoscope butterfly garden. That is just 6 staff. The rest of that is all exterior horticulture who works within the park, keeping it beautiful and keeping our habitats beautiful for the animals and safe.
Well, you guys do an amazing job. So thank you guys from Wendy and me to the Hort staff. We don't get to say it very often. We don't get to see you guys as often. So thank you guys, and thank you, Katie, for everything
No
you're doing
problem.
here. Can we take a little tour? Can you kind of just give us an idea of who's here? Let's look at some plants. You talked about the orchids a second ago, so that's kind of neat. What about this? Looks kind of familiar to me.
It's got really pretty flowers.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. And I like the light green and the dark green on it. That's really kind of cool.
I like all the orchids. I love an orchid because I appreciate an orchid, because I can't have one at home because they all die. And
You know why they die? May I take this out?
You may.
I think I might have showed that sign.
Did you?
earlier. Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have the instructions.
Well, it was a lot more than that.
Orchids are very fickle, and some don't like to be watered every day.
Yeah.
We plant ours in a
Wow.
special media. We use very well draining material so they roots don't get, over wet. Because a lot of orchids, they grow just on trees. I'm trying to find one as an example.
And at my house,
But they
I don't have a lot of
roots.
sunlight in my house.
So these
Oh,
roots
those
don't
are
want to be
roots?
fully immersed in water.
Those are the roots of an
Yeah,
orchid?
they'll just grow in a tree.
No kidding.
They'll just hang there and get a lot of that moisture they need from the humidity in that environment.
Tropical forest.
So if you're just
Wow.
watering that with tap water every day, you're probably giving it more water than it really wants.
Yeah.
So would it be fair? I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot, Katie, because we didn't talk about some of this. Could I just mist it
Yeah, mist the
as
roots.
opposed to water it?
That would be
That might
fine.
be better.
Now, we don't use ice cubes to water our orchids. That's an old wives' tale. We don't use ice cubes to water our
I
orchids.
have heard that before.
Really?
Good to know. I won't try that one.
You are a little plantish. You're a little more plantish than I am.
Yeah, I have a couple plants that don't die. But
There's a couple plants that don't, couple plants that don't.
yeah.
Come down on your lunch
That
break.
one,
I'll put you
that
to
one
work.
over there, is that mother-in-law tongue?
Did you guys hear
Over
what?
there?
Did you hear what Katie said?
Yeah.
Wendy, come on down. I'll put you to work.
I have a friend here at the zoo that I take my plants to her house and say, "Can you fix this, please?"
A couple of our folks in animal ambassador keepers.
Yes.
April and Natalie are huge into plants.
I am fascinated by plant people.
Oh, they are crazy
because
smart.
I lack zero skills.
And we do a lot of plant rehabilitation for coworkers.
Oh,
We do. I'm not going to name names.
that's the family atmosphere here,
Yes.
guys. That's the
Yes.
family atmosphere. I love it. What were you asking?
That was mother-in-law tongue or snake?
Oh, so it's like a
over
snake
to the
plant.
left over there. Those
Oh,
guys.
these are snake plants, and these
Snake
are actually
plants.
Nice
related
job.
to the snake plants
Yes.
also.
I'm good at snake plants.
Again, low water. They don't need a lot of love.
That's
here.
probably why. I ignore them and they do
Because you
fine.
just simply forget. All right. What else we have down here?
Oh, lots of
I'm
vines,
gonna walk
lots
backwards.
of climbing tropical plants, lots of ferns.
Oh, I love a fern. My
Um,
wife loves ferns. What is that?
Well, this is a bromeliad.
A what?
So a bromeliad is a plant
bromeliad.
family. And we
Okay.
also have the Tillandsias, also known as air plants. So these are plants with very minimal root systems. So
they don't have much of a root system, where the orchid kind of has that more of
Exactly.
Whoa.
So these plants just naturally will grow hanging in the side of a tree.
No kidding.
So we rarely plant them in soil except just to start propagating them.
This one has flowers.
Yeah.
Wonderful observation. I'm so proud of you.
Do you see how excited I get for plants?
Look at these, Wendy. This looks like they've got like little cups, little places that water.
There's water in this.
Oh, there is?
There's
There is water in
Water
there?
in there.
And animals will even come drink the water out of those plants.
Seriously?
They will.
Remember when we did the frog?
I was just going to
episode?
say, we did. We saw the eggs.
And the frog laid its eggs in there.
We got to see that.
Cool.
That was really cool. I forgot about that, Wendy. Thank you for that. That's neat. So those are bromeliads?
We have bromeliads and
Bromeliads.
Tillandsias. Or you could just call them air plants.
Oh, air plant
I
works.
like
Air
that.
plants.
I'll remember that.
So air plant works.
Look at that pink. That's
Okay.
pretty.
I know, just all this vibrant color and variation. We are always trying to get unique plant specimens. and
Sure.
always want to have something that is not only beautiful, but native to our animals' habitats.
Yep.
And just provides wonderful enrichment.
This
So-
looks a lot like art too. The way they put
Oh,
them
that's an
together.
awesome point, Wendy.
Horticulture is an art.
It looks like
Oh, well
art.
said, Katie.
It
Horticulture
very much
is an art.
Very much is.
Does this kind of represent how you could see something like this
In the wild,
in the
yes.
forest? So this is kind of like
Now,
that.
it probably wouldn't have that much moss on it naturally.
Okay.
We put a little bit more on just for aesthetics and
Okay.
help keep the roots
That's
maintaining
fair.
their moisture. But yeah, I mean, like the staghorn ferns, that's how they grow in the wild.
Just like that.
Yeah, they're just growing on the sides of trees.
I get why they're stacked.
Yeah.
They look like.
Like a deer mounted on your grandpa's wall.
I get it.
Yeah, but they don't grow horns, they grow antlers.
So this should be stag antler.
We've learned that. I love the other thing. Guys, we don't get to, I've been to the greenhouses before for a quick visit and kind of meet somebody up or whatever. It's neat to be in here because I'm seeing all the little notes and all the stories and all the things you guys are sharing, because there's so many details in here. I can't imagine trying to keep all that in my brain at once. So it's neat to see you guys have those little hint notes. Don't
Yeah.
forget, don't forget, don't forget.
Oh, yeah.
Wendy, check this out. Wendy.
are those
Wendy.
I'm so distracted.
Wendy, come here. I bet you, Wendy, remember what this might be.
Oh, I bet our digital guests do too. We were in the
I think this
aviary.
grows in the aviary.
It does.
This is probably my dad's favorite plant.
If I'm not mistaken, you've told me your dad says there's not enough until you can't see the color of the food.
Yep.
This is pepper. That's pepper plant, guys. We kind of hijacked it from Katie because we learned this from Jonathan. He was able to explain to us the pepper and how the fruit, the peppercorn, is the pepper. So that's what's ground up, and that's what's giving you things. And then he shared something about the different colors. I don't remember what the colors were.
So depending
Oh,
on
you
how
know
it's
the- of course he knows
roasted,
what the colors are.
determines whether or not the color is white or pink or black.
There's pink pepper?
Yeah. All of
I
it's
thought, I
spicy.
thought they were all different species.
I did too.
Nope, it's all dependent on the roasting process, what color the peppercorns turn out being.
So
Very neat.
my dad's opinion on pepper is if you're like putting it on your salad, if you can still see color, there's not enough pepper on your
My
salad.
type of man, I like some spicy food.
Yes.
Good
So
deal.
that is how I grew up with pepper.
So this is, and it's, if I'm not, it's a vine?
It is.
It is a vine.
It's really neat.
Mm-hmm.
That is so neat. Oh, here's another one. How cool is this? Wendy, you remember this one?
Yeah, it looks like a green bean, but it's not.
Nope. Digital guess. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to think about this one. What is this? We met this plant in the aviary again. It's another vine, and it's pollinated by people. Its bee went extinct.
Remember? And its flavor is in our desserts. And we had a whole argument.
No, some of you lost an argument.
No, we had a whole argument
Some of you lost an argument.
about which is better, chocolate or...
Vanilla!
And we all know vanilla wins.
That's not how our argument went.
But yeah, this is the bean that we use for culinary purposes.
That's it. Huh? That's
Yeah,
the
you
dried
can make your
fruit.
own vanilla extract at home by buying these and soaking it in an alcohol solution. And that is vanilla extract that you buy at the grocery store.
No, Katie, you could do that.
You could do it too.
Neat.
So do these have to dry, or is there a certain time of year you pull it off?
Step straight back, Wendy. There you go.
I don't want to step
Nope.
on your
I heard something fall and I wanted you to step back. I couldn't see what it was. Sorry about that.
Do these have to be like harvested at a certain time?
That's okay.
I'm
Or
not
do they just have to be
100% sure.
dried?
I believe they're dried and
They just have to
roasted.
be dried and roasted.
Neat.
Don't quote me on that.
Like a lot of other
Too late. You're already on film.
food. Roasted and it's yummy.
Great point, Wendy.
I love a lot of roasted foods.
Well, is that it? Oh, guess not. Holy cow, there's a whole other section down here. What are you showing them now?
I don't know. It's a cool little something. I don't know.
It's in the African violet family.
Yes,
Wendy,
I
it's
don't
an
know what
African
I'm
violet.
talking about. I just thought
It's
it
an
was
African
cool
violet
looking.
family.
Oh, family.
So it's a cousin.
Yeah, it's like a
Oh, isn't that cute?
I think it's neat.
It's such a dainty little flower.
was
So they
Freaking out.
That's the flower?
It's
Yeah.
so soft.
Can I move this? Can I show them that
Yeah,
flower?
go ahead.
What? I don't know how close you got, Wendy.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's like feathery on the edges.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. There you go. Katie, you have to love this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it is so fascinating and it's so diverse.
I know. We have plants from all over the world here. Every day we get new donations or new plants coming in.
You get
and
donations sometimes.
We do.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Would you guys like to see a few of them?
Nuh-uh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go do
If
that.
you're getting excited about it, then we'll definitely look at it.
Let's see what you got. Do you see this on the right? Look at this.
What's that? What is that thing?
What thing?
What is that? It's like balloons.
Well, you remember how we were talking about the tropical
Get
plants
out of
that
my
fill
way,
up
Steve.
with
Sorry.
water in
Get
them?
out of my way.
I'm
And
in
the
the way.
frogs will lay their eggs in them? This is another one. This is a tropical pitcher plant.
Oh my god.
That's a pitcher plant?
So yes, this
we
is
have this in
actually
North Carolina?
we do. This is a different type. This is not our native Sarracenias that we have here in the park.
Yes, Steve.
This is
I
a
never met
tropical
Sarah
one
or
that is.
Cinia.
It's a vine.
Oh, it's a vine.
Yeah, and the pitchers will actually fill with water, and frogs will lay their eggs in them, and the babies will actually hatch out.
Wow. What a neat
And then they could just hop into the tree.
relationship nature has, huh?
That's
You take
really
advantage of the
cool.
niches, take advantage of where you can be and what you can do.
Look at this. We're going from like one tropical place to another.
It's a tropic wonderland. What are you shooting now?
I'm everything.
You are shooting everything, aren't you?
Everything. It's so
That's
pretty.
crazy. Awesome.
We gotta go downstairs. Don't
Nope.
fall.
Not going to fall.
It can be distracting with all the pretty blooms.
I can't even imagine. Katie, I should have mentioned, you might have been watching, I don't know if I introduced you to the Muppet. We kind of got started so quick. I was like, oh, so
Infamous
neat.
Muppet.
So this is the Muppet. He's a microphone.
It doesn't look like a puppet to me.
Muppet.
Oh,
Muppet.
like Kermie.
Like that. Exactly. Yep. So this is our microphone. I should have mentioned it earlier. You
Okay.
probably got the assumption that, why is he carrying
Shoving
that
that thing
block?
in his face.
All right, good deal. So this is room 2 of
This is our lower
a million.
greenhouse, or the lower part of greenhouse 2, and this is where our big tropical specimens live.
They are big. Oh, look at the pretty
It's
flowers.
definitely shadier in here.
Yes.
Wendy.
Oh, it looks like it's flying towards us.
Really?
I like sound effects, Steve.
You do like sound effects. And they kind of come out of nowhere.
Oh, that was more cat-like.
That was very cat-like. And now you're acting more like a bat in the fly.
Okay.
Who's getting sick? I'm sorry.
done.
I'll
I'm
put her
done.
under. I'll
I'm
see if I
done.
can do it by getting her in control.
I didn't get much sleep last night.
When was the last time you got enough sleep?
I don't know.
I've seen a plant like this. This looks familiar,
Yeah,
Katie.
a lot of people have these in their houses.
Oh yes, this is a very common office plant. We actually, a lot of these are
It's
up
really
in our
pretty.
Stedman Education Building.
Well, I work in Stedman Education Building. How come I don't have one of these?
Well,
I'm
maybe
planting
if
a
you're
seed.
nice enough,
I'm
I know a
planting
girl.
seed. You know a girl. I love it.
I see Nikki's favorite plant.
Oh, you do? You found a cat plant?
Coffee tree.
Oh, that's awesome. Coffee. That is a great point. That is definitely Nikki's favorite. Nikki, are you there? Give us a thumbs up, Nikki. So you brought us over to these really small, kind of all by themselves plants that don't look very exciting.
Well, they're not that small. I'm 5'3".
I'm not.
So this is actually called a Bodhi tree.
A what tree?
A Bodhi.
Will you spell that?
B-O-A-T-I-E. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. What did you say?
B-O-D-H-I.
B-O-D-H-I.
Bodhi.
That sounds foreign.
It is. So this is actually native to India.
India?
And this is
We have some guests from India sometimes.
a baby from a tree. This is the tree Buddha sat underneath when he reached enlightenment.
No way.
This is a type of tree?
No,
This is one of the types of trees?
This is a descendant from that tree. This tree came from the rootstock of that
No.
actual
You don't just get to say that without looking right there.
Yes.
This is a camera. They
This-
need to hear this.
This is the
really
descendant.
important.
This is the descendant of the tree Buddha sat underneath when he reached enlightenment.
Are you kidding? This is a descendant of that tree.
Yes.
I think I need to sit under this tree a lot.
Yes, and this tree itself is in fact a living shrine. You would
The tree
never
itself
put
is.
a Buddha underneath this tree because then you would have two shrines next to each other.
Of course.
Yes, so this is a living relic from that tree
No
that
kidding.
came from the Duke Gardens.
From
And it
Duke
was
Gardens.
donated.
Thank you,
Yes,
Duke
it was.
Gardens.
Thank you, dude.
Don Clark.
Thank you so much. That is amazing. And does this live in the greenhouses?
So for the winter, it will live in a greenhouse because it's not winter hardy. In spring,
course.
we're going to put it out somewhere in Africa and find a special home for it.
Of course, you have to find a very special home.
And so
For that.
trees like this, you just can't go buy at your local garden center. These are incredibly
That's a
special
great
pieces of
point.
history.
That's a great point.
And those are some of the plants we're always looking to add to our collection and, enhance the experience for our guests.
That's awesome.
How about that,
What
guys?
about this guy?
So this is called a baobab tree, also known
I've
as the
heard of those.
tree of life. This is one of the oldest living plants on our planet.
Really?
Yes, they can live up to be 5,000 years old.
Wait, what? Okay. I know I didn't get a lot of sleep, but 5,000?
That's right, 5,000 years
Holy
old. It can
moly.
get 30 meters tall.
30 meters, 30 times 3, so 99. That's pushing 100 feet.
I'm
Yeah,
glad you did the math.
it could
'cause
be
I was like, oh yeah, I
over
know.
5,000 years.
Wow.
The tree of life.
Yeah, and so this is another African plant, and you'll see it's got a little bud.
Oh,
on
it does. Is this the one that when it's done growing, it kind of looks upside down? Or is that a different tree? There's one that when it gets done growing, kind of looks like it's been planted upside down.
I think that might be different.
Different one?
Yeah, this one ends up looking very fat. Ends up looking a little chubby.
It's a Steve tree. Do you know what that is?
That frog didn't laugh at your joke.
And neither did any of our digital guests.
Since it's in a tree, my guess is it's a tree frog.
Nice, Doug.
And since it's a green tree frog.
Right, 10 points for you.
I know.
Whatever, a green tree frog.
I know
In its
a few
natural
things.
habitat.
And it's in a greenhouse.
Oh yeah, anytime we have
It's a
frogs or
green
lizards
frog.
in here, we let them
In a
stay.
greenhouse.
Oh, we're aging ourselves.
Oh my gosh, not only that, we're
bad
too
singers.
connected.
Look how cute.
Yeah.
Plants.
Okay. Tree of life.
Well, this is
So,
really the peak
Bodhi
of our tropical
And
collection.
baobab. Bodhi, I said that right? Bodhi?
Yep, Bodhi. We actually have a curator named Jody, and we nicknamed this tree Jody.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
Jody the Bodhi, so we can remember the name.
Oh.
That'll work.
Well,
That's
you
so
did. You
cool.
did mention that we might be able to go peek at the desert. And personally, I am from the West, and I don't like the humidity, and it's very humid in here. And I would really like to go to somewhere dry.
All right.
Can we transport?
Let's go.
Ta-da!
It's
How
like,
about that?
It's like I hypnotize when you snap.
So now we're outside one of our other desert habitats. One of the only?
The only desert greenhouse.
Where'd you go? Where'd Wendy go? She's over there filming the outside of the building. But you said you wanted to introduce us to this beautiful plant that might have a little bit of a connection to Halloween. We're filming this on October 14th.
Yes, this is a voodoo lily.
Voodoo. Can you do this again? Can you do this whole thing again?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a voodoo lily.
All right.
You don't get to not do it off camera and then do it on camera. Awesome. A voodoo lily.
Yes.
I love the bark.
Yeah.
Well, this is actually the stalk of the plant. This is a
What?
flower. This is
Nuh-uh.
not a tree. This is a
What?
flower.
That is not a flower. That is
Yeah.
a tree.
This is a flower.
No,
This
it's
is an
not.
herbaceous perennial.
Who are you guys going to trust, Steve or the hort expert? Steve, the hort ex. Okay.
This is an herbaceous perennial that actually grows from a bulb.
Herbaceous
so it will
perennial.
go dormant in the winter and come
Okay.
up in the spring, like a daffodil
Somebody
or a
agrees
tulip.
with you back there.
Like a tulip.
So you said a perennial. What does perennial mean?
So perennial is a plant that comes back every year.
Okay.
So it'll go dormant in the winter and come back in the spring. And some plants are annuals, where they just grow for one growing season from, spring to winter, and then they make their seed and they're done.
Or
this
if they
plant
live
comes
in
back
Wendy's
every
house,
year.
they're an annual because she kills them.
If they live in Winnie's house, they're in
an
trouble.
annual, yeah. They're like a monther.
But this was
So why
another
a
plant
voo-
that
why
was
voodoo?
donated to us. It's
Yeah.
called
Oh,
a voodoo lily because it has every few years. It doesn't bloom every year.
Oh, no kidding.
It has to be just right and mature enough. It will bloom and have a big purple flower.
Okay.
And it's stinky
That
and it
sounds pr-
smells like a rotting body. And it's related to the corpse
Why
flower.
would you do that? Why would it need to stink like a rotting body?
Well, it attracts fruit flies as its pollinator, so it smells like rotting meat.
Oh.
That makes sense.
So that attracts its pollinators to it. But this is another rare plant that was a wonderful donation to our park.
Another donation.
Yeah.
Those of you that have donated before, if any of you are watching, thank you so much because you just enhance our guests' visit. You enhance the staff time, and you give the Hort guys some amazing stories to share. The Bodhi plant and the baobab, and now the voodoo plant, the voodoo
Voodoo Lily.
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 Voodoo
And
lily.
you gotta say voodoo.
Yeah, voodoo.
I like it better when she does it, Steve.
Most people do. Awesome, and little small cactuses in places. So this is where we're going next?
Yeah, come on into the desert.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh, did they close the door? on
Maybe
me?
someone locked us out.
They did. Let me go open it from the side.
That's hilarious.
Okay, we'll be back in just 1 second.
Yay! And we're
Oh, okay, you didn't know. Let's get that. Can we get
I
that?
did.
You did?
I got her opening the doors.
You're supposed to tell me that so I don't embarrass myself on national.
I didn't get that.
No. Okay.
Do you feel the sweat evaporating off your body?
That's so is it dry? Is it really drier in here?
Yes. So
Should we
again,
close these doors or are we okay for now?
it's okay while we're walking around.
Awesome.
This is our only air-conditioned greenhouse. at the zoo.
Wait. It's an air-conditioned greenhouse?
That's right, because these plants live in the desert where there's low humidity. So in North Carolina, you got to have AC to beat that humidity.
Good point.
So this is our
So it's
only
air
air-conditioned.
conditioned.
Yes.
It feels like home in here.
So unfair question. What's the temperature in here right now, ish?
Probably right around 81.
It's 81 in here?
About there.
It doesn't feel like it's
Not
81
even. I would have
because you
said.
don't sweat.
I would have said low 70s,
Yeah.
maybe early 60s, late 60s.
And in the
It's
heat of the
really
summer, it
nice.
can get up to as hot as 109 degrees in here.
But the
Yeah.
key is your sweat
109?
evaporates off your body.
Keeping you cooler.
Keeps you cool.
Nice. 109 though. That's still pretty hot.
Yeah, we mostly work in here in the mornings in the summer, just to cover our bases.
Let's send Wendy down this first row because it's got a lot of sharp, pointy things.
Oh yeah, that's real smart. Send
Well,
the
you know.
klutz. Send the klutz down
Just
the
don't be
sharp
that klutzy.
line. Ooh, those are hooky.
Oh yeah, that's the fish
Fish
hook.
hook barrel cactus. Let me finish that one because it's one of the few that I know.
I just poked myself in the back.
Oh no. Yeah, be careful. Walk with caution in here.
Walk with caution. Have you ever not walked with caution accidentally?
Yes, I have learned the hard way and had a few cactus spurs in my butt.
Wow. That had to make for not a really great day.
It was a good training experience.
I know you're showing the pointies. Look at the pretties. I know you're showing pointies, but look at the pretty.
Yeah, this one and there's another one that make the desert smell so good.
Oh,
In
really?
the desert
We have a
habitat.
chocolate flower in there.
A chocolate flower?
It smells like chocolate
Which
when
is-
it blooms.
Oh, it's not that it doesn't look like chocolate. It
Nope.
smells like chocolate.
It's a pretty little yellow flower.
I want some of those. Wow. And this is all just setting the scene, guys. Remember, if you've been to the North Carolina Zoo before and you've gone into the desert, I have to admit, it's my favorite entire experience because you're taken to a new space. If you haven't been to a desert before and you've gone to North Carolina Zoo, you get a really good feel of what it's like there. What are you showing there? What do you got?
I
you showing?
heart the desert too.
You heart the
Aw.
desert.
I mean, I worked there for 10 years.
You did. Taking care of the reptiles, right? Were you birds and reptiles at desert?
No, the mammals, but
Mammals?
I did take care of the reptiles and the birds too.
You took care of the mammals in desert?
I was the mammal keeper too.
I can't believe you found a heart. That is so cool. So all these, and this is another propagation place?
Yes.
So you're breeding them, raising them up.
Yes, and just like some of our tropical plants, some of these plants are very slow growing. Like the saguaro, the famous desert cactus.
Yeah, the one with the arms, right?
It takes tens and tens of years to get as big as some of the ones in our desert.
Really?
And it's our job every year. We have to measure them and see how tall they've grown.
Really?
Yes, no one likes that
I
big.
like when they get really big and they bloom.
Yeah.
That means they're really old, like teeth.
Again with the laughter.
I like her.
Again with the laughter.
You guys make
This
it
is
too
your
easy.
first and last episode. Just kidding. Wendy, come here. Katie, is this a flower? Is that little red down there a flower?
Yes, it is. That is a tiny flower.
Look at that. Wendy, get closer. No, get close. I want you to get closer.
I'm gonna zoom, or I'm gonna need band-aids.
That's the flower. I just thought, I was like,
It almost looks like a tiny little red pumpkin.
Yeah.
where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Neat. Now that one looks kind of fuzzy.
Yeah, that one looks
Trust
pain-
me,
that one
it's
looks
still
painful.
sharp.
That
Fuzzy
looks
wuzzy.
Still
painful.
sharp. Even the ones that look soft, they'll get you.
Well
What
said.
I really like about the cactus,
Yep.
cacti,
Ooh.
is they're all just the patterns, and they're also different.
Yes, nature's geometry.
It's beautiful.
I like that,
They're
Katie.
beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful.
Anybody have a cactus garden at home?
One of our coworkers, April, loves cacti.
April. They are neat, and they're so unique.
I saw some big ones over there. Let's start going around.
Oh, I know this one. No, I don't.
Ocotillo. I know that one.
Ocotillo? Fire stick or something like that is another nickname for it. Look at those. And it becomes a fence. I do know that we do interpret the desert a little bit on some of our stations. I like this one because it will be literally used as a fence. They can grow it,
Keep
and
cattle in.
even when it dies, and it sheds its leaves very quickly, right? If I'm not mistaken, because it's going to grow fast, and then it has these amazing spines, and yeah, to keep cattle in and other things.
Maybe you could plant these under your kid's window, and then they'll never sneak out.
Ooh.
Or keep people from breaking in, whatever.
Well, and this is also a survival tactic. Even though this one's dropped its leaves, it's still alive.
Yep.
And it can still photosynthesize with the green bark.
Oh, it is green.
So
green.
it's a drought mechanism. To survive the drought, they'll drop their leaves.
She's really smart.
She is smart.
Look at that bark. It is green. I'm trying to zoom in on it, and it's not picking it up.
Come on, Goldie. Come on.
Come on,
You can do it.
There it is. Oh, I got it. I got it. I just can't move
Did
or
you?
breathe.
Don't move. Don't move.
I'm not breathing.
Guests, don't move. What a great episode. This has been so much fun. What else we have over here, Katie? Lead the way, or tell us the way, or something. Oh, I've seen this before.
Oh yes, agave.
Oh,
Uh,
our digital guests will like this plant. Some
yes,
of them.
they will. Is this one of the ones that's pollinated by the bat?
Yep. It's the only, because these guys, the agave plant blooms at night.
At night.
And so, who is the night shift of the pollinators?
Get the bats and the moths,
bats.
but the bats
And so, you can thank a bat for what agave makes,
starts with a T, ends in an R.
and it comes at happy hour.
Woo! A little bit of
Tequila.
tequila. Tequila comes from the agave plant.
Real
How cool is
tequila,
that?
not synthesized, but real tequila.
Real tequila.
Comes from this plant.
So you guys that like tequila, you better start liking bats.
Yeah.
What's down here?
More of our bigger plant specimens.
So there is a hose in here, so you do water them, just not a lot, right?
Actually, the desert plants need a lot more care than people think. Because
Really?
these plants are in containers and not in their natural habitat, the roots are actually very
sure.
prone to drying out quickly.
Okay.
So we plant these in a special media that has sand in it to help them drain better. But these plants, actually, we have to water most of this stuff once or twice a week.
No kidding. Now you said media a couple times, and I'm sure that, especially some of our younger guests, they might think of a movie or something like that, or something different of a media. When you say media, what do you mean?
Media is a fancy horticulture term for potting soil.
Oh.
That's what it
It's dirt.
means. No, dirt is what you sweep up off your kitchen floor. This is soil.
Oh, give him a snap for that one.
So by media, we mean what we're putting into it. So we put sand in our tropical plants.
Wow.
Or our desert plants.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong house. Yeah.
Oh, it's your
Sand
it's your first
in
time
the
with us.
desert
You're doing
plants.
great. So sand, and the media is what the plants are growing in.
Correct. So that is just a fancy term for potting soil.
Neat.
It's a pro term.
We'll love it. Guys, so use word media.
So this is one of our older saguaro specimens.
So those tiny things over there we saw will grow up to be one of these bigger guys.
Let alone this. I'll get over here so
Give
you guys
them
remember how
about
tall
30
I am.
years.
30 years? Wow.
Sometimes even more than that. They grow about an inch a year.
You can stay right there. I got you.
Imagine that. An inch a year, you said?
Give or
Plus or
take.
minus? Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. There's a couple other big ones over there.
Yeah, that's the skeleton behind you of what's left over from the saguaro.
That looks like this.
So cactus
Yeah.
have a skeleton?
They do.
Like this,
Yeah, most of a cactus is water.
right?
They're probably about 90% water, but when the plant is dead, the skeleton in the structural form is still alive. So we save that and we put that in our habitats for decoration and enrichment for the animals.
Oh, cool. So the skeleton of the cactus acts like the skeleton of a person or an animal.
Yeah,
Giving them
exactly.
that form, giving them that structure.
Uh-huh.
Are these like pores, like in skin, where
These
water
little holes?
would go
Yeah.
in and out?
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. And then that's just a larger version of the skeleton.
Yeah, so the lizards, they love to crawl
Oh,
around
sure.
in these. Or the porcupine will play with them.
It's kind of hollow. I've heard them called ribs sometimes, especially in the saguaro, because they kind of look ribbish,
Yeah.
kind of long and skinny like that. That is so neat, and it's light.
Yeah.
Are cactuses light?
No.
No?
No, because they're almost 90% water, they are very heavy.
Oh, sure.
And that's why many of our plants are held up with reinforcement to
Oh,
make
that's
sure
why
they don't
I saw
fall over.
rebar in some of them.
Yep.
Rebar, steel pole.
Yep, because these are very top heavy when they're not in the ground planted.
Oh,
so
there's
this
little
is
flowers.
just protection for the staff,
Oh, that's
so
fine.
they don't fall over on us or we accidentally bump into them.
That would not be a good day.
Didn't this one have a very special name? Because
Yes.
it sort of bumped into
The first one?
an employee.
This one did?
Yeah, this one has
Uh-uh.
a name.
Yes,
What's the name of this one?
This one's named Denise after one of our curators. Because part of this
Why
cactus.
would you need to name a cactus after Denise?
Well, it fell on her while they were doing surgery, and she tore her rotator cuff.
They were doing surgery.
Wait, there's two things in there that just don't resonate.
Surgery on a cactus.
It fell on her while they were doing surgery.
Correct.
How do you do surgery and why for a cactus?
So because these are such long-living plants, sometimes they can get defects in them. The birds might chew on the side of
Sure,
them, and
sure.
anything that weakens the
The
structural integrity of them, we will try to repair.
Okay.
And
So-
sometimes that's with pruning or grooming or, putting some extra support with our design department to help these plants.
And this one was in desert, wasn't it?
It
And
was.
It was really big.
Yes, it was one of our oldest ones.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
wow.
remember it was really tall. So it fell on her, and she had to have rotator cuff surgery.
And so we cut the top off and we grew a new one and we named it after her.
Well,
Well, there you go, Denise. There's
I
your
would give Denise
plant.
a hug, but it looks
Oh, come on. High five? Low five?
You're going to have to fill out the workman's comp
Oh,
paperwork.
no paperwork for Steve.
Okay.
Look
I
at this.
like- I like this
Do not water 'em. It's ready for Christmas, though. It's red and green. See, Christmas. It's ready for Christmas. Red and green.
There is a Christmas cactus,
Yes,
there is. We have some in here.
I have one in
Nuh-uh.
my house that looks rather
How many
sad.
times did it bloom to Christmas?
I just got it for Christmas last year from our coworker, Cappy.
Yay, Cappy.
Well,
Wow.
this looks like a palm tree and a pineapple all in one.
Yeah, that's a pachypodium.
A what?
A pack of
A
what?
pack of what?
Pachypodium, that's the
That
scientific
might be a new.
name
That
for
might be a
it.
new
I
favorite
have
word.
never seen this before. It is awesome.
Pachypodium.
Yeah, it looks like something out of a dinosaur maybe.
It
It
does.
does.
It looks like like a kid's imagination drew this.
That's really cool.
Awesome.
Is this in the desert, or is this like a one-off right now? I don't think I've ever
this
seen one of these
was
before.
in the desert.
Was it?
This may go into the new baboon exhibit.
Oh.
I'm not 100% sure, but
Exciting.
it might be. We have a lot of new plants we've gotten in just for the new baboon exhibit.
That is so cool. Watch your head there. I don't want you to get.
This is one of the ones in desert.
No
that
spikies
the,
on-
uh,
oh.
The
the
mesquite.
birds like to
Yeah.
hang
It's
out
mesquite?
in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The birds in the desert love to sit in the big one that we have. in
Oh
the desert.
yeah. And it sheds
So
its
that's
leaves all the
mesquite?
time.
Yes.
That's when it kind of gives that real that smoky flavor to food too, isn't it? That from the if it's from the seed from the
I thought it was
seed
from
to the bark
wood
or the wood. I bet it is.
I think it's from the wood.
That is so neat. What'd you learn over there, Wendy?
No, just showing them what the whole tree looks like. It's lost a lot of its leaves.
Yeah, it
It's
has.
normally fluffy.
But you can see how fluffy it might be with all those leaves all put together.
Yeah, they go through cycles of the year where they do a lot of shedding.
Wow. And then amazing. So we went from the tropical forest to the deserts of southwestern United States, just like that.
Yes.
And you guys have set that scene amazingly well.
And not just the Southwest Sonoran Desert, we also have desert plants for Africa and Australia in our exhibits in the
Really?
desert building also.
That's fascinating. I did not know that. That's cool. Anything fun down there, Wendy?
It's a lot of the plants you might have at home.
Oh, is it?
A lot of the cactus that some of us at home might have.
Yeah, these are propagation plants for future plant sales because that is something we also do here is we propagate our plants for the zoo's plant sales.
Oh, really?
It's usually Mother's Day weekend.
Oh, and this year with COVID, I bet we weren't able to do it, huh? Whoop. That's got poked by a plant. Standing still.
This has been so cool.
I'm telling you. And although it's been, having you with us today has been incredible, I mean, I've got to visit before. Come down and see the greenhouse. Okay, sure, I'll come down and see the greenhouse. It's really pretty, it's cool, whatever. But to hear some of the stories, I mean, some of those tropical plant stories, I love the pitcher plant.
That
we
was cool.
That was so neat. And to see the vanilla bean, the actual bean pods are over there. And in here, to go from wet, warm, humid into this amazing space, which is cooler because it's so dry. And that's all stuff that you guys have to do and
That's
monitor
right.
and maintain. Is there anything else you can show us?
Well, we haven't even talked about the other greenhouses or the browse garden yet.
Oh my
Other
God.
greenhouses? You have a browse
Yeah.
garden?
We're
How
running,
many episodes is this going to be?
we're running out of time, Steve. That might have to be another episode.
That's
You're going to
crazy.
have to stay tuned.
But there's one more thing I would like for you to show us that we can. If we have time to see one more thing.
Sure.
All right, so let's wrap this one up and let's go see one thing real quick.
Okay.
You okay with that?
Yeah.
Katie, you okay with
Yeah,
that?
that's fine.
Super. Come on, guys.
All right, let's go.
So this is another greenhouse we wanted to share with you, and they said you really have to go in and check it out because it's kind of interesting what's going on. So let's go see what's going on. It's greenhouses in here. This is.
Steve, are we in? It's empty, Steve.
This is empty.
Why are we here?
Why did they bring us to an empty greenhouse? Katie's here. All right, Katie, tell us what's going on in
Are
here.
we in the wrong place?
Are we in the wrong place?
No, you're in the right place.
Are you, Katie? It's empty.
Well, this is our tropical overwintering greenhouse.
Tropical overwintering greenhouse.
Yes, so for all of our tropical plants in Africa that are not cold hardy, we have to bring them in here in the winter to protect them.
So that's why it's empty because they're out in the park now.
It's still pretty warm. These are plants
Okay.
we just got donated yesterday.
Oh, really?
So we just put them straight in here instead of putting them into the park.
And look how big these are, guys. You guys know I'm 6'3". How cool is this? So, but this will soon fill up.
That's right. This greenhouse will be packed in the winter with all of Africa's tropical plants that aren't cold hardy.
So we just don't
That's
leave them
so
out in the
neat.
park. You guys
No.
literally have to go dig them up
That's right.
and bring them here.
And then in the winter, we repot them, we fertilize them, we
Oh, cool.
prune them.
Okay.
We do everything to make them pretty for next spring when they go back out in the park.
And you can actually move them around too if you wanted to. So it keeps not only keeps the landscape changing for our guests.
Wait a minute. So, some of the plants at the zoo are in pots.
That's right.
So what an amazing.
I know.
So some of the plants that you guys see when you come to the zoo and you go, it's such a pretty place. Yeah, they're taken up and moved in the wintertime because they're in pots.
That's
They're not
right.
planted in the ground.
Makes it so much easier for our staff.
They're
Wow!
like retirees. They're our snowbirds.
Well said. That's a good point. That's a great point. Well, Katie, this has been really fun, and this is a neat place to end. Is there anybody you'd like to say? We try to do some shout-outs to folks out there. Well, wait.
Oh,
That was kind of random.
a little mist.
Anyway, you didn't warn us of the mist.
Sorry.
It's Steve and Wendy's in the mist.
You don't like to Steve's like a gremlin when he gets wet.
Well, is there anybody you'd like to do a shout out to that might be watching?
Oh, I just want to say hi to my aunt and my sisters. I love you guys.
Hi, Aunt
Hi, Aunt and sisters. That's awesome. Okay, it's been truly fun.
Well, it's been a pleasure
great
showing
time.
you all around.
Fantastic. So we're going to wrap up. Guys, remember, Mondays and Wednesdays are Zoo Adventure team. You have Steve in front of the camera. You have what's her name behind the camera?
Yeah, me. What's her name?
Wendy.
Wendy.
Okay. We hope to see you again soon. We have another plant episode that we're going to be working on. Not sure when it's going to air, but you don't want to miss that one. Y'all stay safe. We'll see you again soon. Bye now.